Welcome y'all to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Brian Clancy from Nothing New Under the Sun. What's good, Brian? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm blessed and impressed with the life God gave me. What about yourself?
I'm
What's
doing
going on with you?
good, man. I'm a little bit drugged up, so that helps with the pain I was dealing with last week. I try to manage the amount of drugs that's provided from from my doctor. Not drugs like coke or any of those bad things, but the drugs that were prescribed. For the pain that that I've been dealing with. So, life is good, man. I can't complain. It's a beautiful day, even though it's a little rainy outside, but I'm enjoying it. So,
Oh yeah, man, it's raining down here too. I'm out my South Florida base. I'm sorry, it's my South home to me, but the South Florida base, Davenport, is where I'm at right now. Um, chilling in this heat. Did y'all get some reprieve from the heat up there?
no, it's still hot. Shit. Like it don't matter if it's raining. It don't matter if it hasn't been snowing, but it's hot. I think it's maybe like 86 or 90 right now. I don't like anything above 80, so but it's hot and it's raining, so it's a little bit humid outside. But other than that, I mean, it's still good times. People in Atlanta still find reasons to go and hang out. So
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how it is here. Like in Florida, it's got that daily rain, and like it's been thunderstorming and raining just like randomly. So I don't mess with the lightning because Florida's number one in the world for lightning strikes on people.
now,
So
so let me ask this question. I was talking to this kid, and I'm probably going to push him to you pretty soon. But I was talking to this kid. Well, I hate to say kid, nigga, 26 years old. But I was talking to him, and talking about the whole tech thing and stuff. So I might be pushing him your way. But he had brought up something. We just had this conversation literally yesterday at yoga and shit. But he was saying how he moved from Florida to Georgia just literally because of the hurricane season. Like, is that a threat all the time down that way? Because like I said, I'm not familiar. I know, shoot, I won't even say hurricanes, but I know what New Orleans had to deal with Katrina and all that stuff, and I know it's not to that extent. But at the same time, is that always a threat to you and your family in Orlando or within Florida? So,
man, so when I first came down here, I've been down here since 2015. Off like I kind of did like a triangle between Clearwater, Orlando, Fort Myers, then back to Orlando, the Orlando area. And I don't play with hurricanes. Like I leave. I got other places to go. I used to go to Atlanta a lot, but we haven't been like it hasn't been really. I think I left last year for one of them. Uh, the other ones like I wasn't in the path. So it really depends on where you at. Like when I was in Fort Myers, they got hit like three times.
jeez.
They got hit like three times, and I was like, oh my goodness, what like how do y'all deal with this? But they deal with it the same way we deal with a winter storm. They but stuff be broken up. Like with a winter storm with us, we just shovel out of it and the sun bring the joy back. But
But that shit ain't wiping y'all away. Like, okay, I give a so for this work retreat earlier this year I went on. I forgot it was in North Carolina, but I saw that they had houses built like 10, 15 feet, like on like wood
still,
pillars.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or whatever. And I was like, is that prevalent in the Florida area? Because what they call it, y'all are because you're definitely a peninsula, but I forgot what they call it where you're surrounded by three like body of water on
Yeah,
like
a peninsula, three sides. Yeah. So,
yeah.
like I keep telling people, I go from one peninsula to the other. Michigan, 96, I 96 to I-4, keeping it 100. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? That's my little bar.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But no, it's it's it's
Spit.
literally it's literally it's literally like like I'm not near the water. I would never build by the water.
Hmm.
And like the insurance is crazy by the water. So
Hmm.
I would never do like they do build like that here. And they have a building standard that's a lot different than what Michigan is because everybody is on cinder blocks the first level now.
Hmm.
Because like and then a lot of stuff ain't like the livable level ain't even that. So yeah, it's both plus and minuses.
Okay.
But like I don't have to deal with that. I'm on one of the highest elevation parts of Florida,
Okay.
the Davenport area, and I live on the hill where all the water go down. So like it ain't many hills in Florida,
Hmm.
but I'm at the higher elevation in Florida. I think Davenport and Claremont has the highest elevation of Florida, which is something like maybe 800 feet above sea level.
Okay. Now I've always wondered that. I'm like, because I I know some people say, well, Florida is the place to go retire just because it's good weather and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, hurricanes. But like I said, I'm totally only time I've been to Florida is literally Disney World, Disney World or Disneyland. Yeah, Disney World's down there, um, in Miami. So and that's been it. So
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not.
hanging out in
I,
Miami, South
yeah.
Beach, but
Yeah.
nothing
I ain't
more than
hanging out
that.
there.
So, but all right, well, let's jump into it. I know we got a list of topics we want to go through. One thing I did want to hit on is, and I was everybody got their own way of doing things, but I was curious on, and I'll speak to mine as well. But what's your methods to negotiating salary, negotiating with people in general, or compromising and all those things? Like, how do you? I would say first, like, how do you deal from the salary part? How do you deal from the relationship, people, um, talking to people, etc. So,
But I'm gonna just say it like this. It's all about. So I do the number push thing, and I know people like, what's the number push thing? But like they always, I'll be like, they always trying to box you in. So I don't necessarily give them my number, right? I
hmm
say, hey, what's the market rate? So like a lot of times when people call me about a job or want to see what's going on, I got W-2s and 1099s. All right, I lot the guy out. But I do the push the number thing. I want to know I want to know what's market rate, and then I'm gonna push the envelope. So if so when you call that and like I said, they give you a W-2 number and a 1099 number because I own the company.
yeah.
And so I'm saying like uh you know
No,
my
wait, wait,
last
wait,
job.
wait. Before you the negotiating part, explain the idea of the W-2 plus the 1099 or the C to C. Explain that a little, and I can explain it if you want to, but I
Oh,
just want them to understand that because the one problem I have sometimes with people is like, well, I got an LLC or I have all of these things, but they're not they're just getting them. I want to say just to have one, but they're not utilizing them in the way that it makes sense, whether it's, bank accounts and stuff like that, or even like you said, the 1099, you can get well, at least in all the scenarios I've been in, I can get more money, just based off it being in the business. But explain that a little bit, please.
okay, so W-2 usually comes with benefits. Usually comes you're an employee of that firm or whatever, but it comes with benefits. W-2 costs the employer more money because he has to pay taxes and workers comp and all that stuff is included. So that's why that rate is usually lower. So if you're a W-2, then that means you are an employee. A 1099 or a C to C is you're a corporation. You're basically a partnership. It's a corporation under a corporation. So you said that like most of the time it's with a master service agreement or something like that, and under that master service agreement you lay out your terms. So 15 days payment, like a net 15, a net 30, a net 90. Please don't do a net 90 unless you have long
That's
pockets.
crazy.
Yeah, I did a net 90 before, but so with, when you do that, you're responsible for your own payroll taxes, you're responsible for everything on your own. So that rate is a straight cut rate where you get you basically administrate everything for you as your own.
As a business, and you
Yeah,
have
as a
to
business.
make sure that within that scenario, never. I mean, most recruiters or however most people that are trying to hire you, in a sense, they're going to automatically know that at least I try to go a little bit above 10, but at least if you're doing it on an hourly rate, at least $10 to $15 more, just because you have to cover everything within that scenario. So you should always go higher if you're going to do this. Now the CTC is more work or more effort on your behalf, but at the same time you could get more.
The CT,
More
the C2C,
mm-hmm.
T2 C2C,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely more riskier
Yeah,
because the C2C is saying that company is going to cut you a check for whatever, right? So let's give the whole hierarchy, right? A lot of times these recruiters call you and they trying to fill jobs at another place. They're making their money off the top or either hourly or either the recruiters make their money. So let me bring this all the way back.
one thing that you brought up, make sure, and this is where the whole negotiation thing comes into play. Whatever you're negotiating, just know that somebody is making something on top of that. So if you do it from just say a salary perspective, right? You say, hey, I need to get 130 per year. If it's a recruiter, most likely they're going to get, if I had to do maybe like 25% markup of that. So they're probably getting maybe 30, 35 of that. But you can always negotiate within what they're getting. So
And most of the time, the thing is, if you are doing a C to C, you don't want to talk yearly income, because you got to pay taxes and stuff like that. So you don't want to you want to talk hourly rates, because that's where it's going to be, right? Because like and I know
means nothing, honestly.
Yeah, and I know that they'll work just.
You say, hey, I want. You may have. How much is? I'm trying to think how much insurance would be, like at least under a W-2. I usually maybe like $70 to $100 a month just coming out your check.
Oh no, that's really inexpensive. So like when I do a W-2, and like I was just talking to Eddie about this. Eddie is a insurance guru because he has to basically write the policies and put them in the system. Mm-hmm. But basically, most of the time, most of the time for me, it's been like 150. Like if I was doing single, it's like maybe 125 a check. Like if you're doing biweekly.
Shit. Oh wait, well, are you talking about adding it all up together, like dental and all that stuff? Because I've seen
that was just my health. That was just my health coverage. One health coverage, I was paying $275 every check, and I was like, yo, like.
But is that out of C2C or like you're doing it?
No,
like
that's a W-2 because the C2C they're not going to offer you check.
Yeah,
they're not going to offer you.
But I'm saying you pay it out your pocket, so
yeah.
That's
I mean, it's pre-tax, so
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 75 to 125, but I mean, you said 250 a month. That's
I think that was the family plan. And remember, like I had kids, so like
I got one nigga who is me. So.
So it's I got that was the family plan. But normally the family plans run between 100 and depending on what you got. Like I started doing the HSAs because I don't go to the doctor much. So
one thing I learned about HSA too, to add to that, you can use that if you're not. I mean, most people, I end up using mine just depending on how much you put in it, but it's pre-tax. I mean, it's not pre-tax. What do you mean? It's tax. There is no tax on it. So what you can do is. And I was being interviewed and I was talking to this guy. He's like, it was weird. He was asking me like, have you started thinking about retirement? I was like, damn. I was like, I'm on that, other end of the spectrum. But all that being said, he was saying that he's going to save all his HSA and then take it out, very similar to how he does his
once you cover your minimums on HSA, the more like it's depending on what year you are, because like. Once you cover your HSA, like the premium part, any additional money that you got in your HSA is basically a free 401k. So that money that you got in there that's worth more than what your policy like. So I think mine was like $6,500, and when I got to $7,000, they was like, hey, did you want to start investing this money? They hit you real quick because they want you to buy stuff. So. Long story short, if you continue to add to that, because like if you continue to add to that money that you're making in there, you can it's like I said, it's pre-tax. So you won't take a hit on that until you take it out.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start. I mean, because I already, whenever I have an HSA, I've always maxed it out anyway. Just because
You
I think,
funded it out.
yeah,
How much does your employer usually match when you do an
it's
HSA?
like 5 and below. Like I had some terrible employers that was at like one company they were matching 3%. So, but I would still do at least 3% plus whatever I can put in. But like I had one employer that was at 7%. So then I was putting in 7%, but that was the max I could put in. So I was getting 14% each check. You know what I'm saying? That was going into my HSA. So my HSA was filling up very quickly, which was
Oh, that's what's up. So you were doing 7% to your HSA and your 401k. Like,
no,
what would they match?
well, I can't remember what number I was doing to my 401k, but definitely no. What I'm saying is like HSA when they say the company is going to match a certain amount, like they was doing 7%, they'll match up to 7%. So I was doing 7% as well, but so I was still throwing money in the 401k too, but for the HSA I was maxing out at the 14% that I was allowed to every month or every paycheck or however that works, and making sure that all of the tax tax free money, quote unquote, was in there. So I mean, shoot, it was I'm still using it to this day. My HSA from that previous program. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it can make you some money. I mean, there are some penalties involved if you get money out
yeah, I
that
mean, that's with all. You got 401k, you get hit for the 4%.
10%. It's 10%. It's a
You said
straight up 10%, and then they tax it like regular income. So and they tax the number. So I just went through this because I cashed in my
10%.
401k. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
10%.
for
They're
some reason I
taking
thought it
10%
was
off the top.
4%.
That's the penalty,
Okay.
and then they're gonna charge you income. They treat that as income for that whole amount, even
Okay.
with the 10% on there.
Oh, okay. Wait. So you saying you getting double hit 20
Yeah, because the
or is
penalty is the
10% and
penalty.
10%?
No, so I mean, it depend on your withholdings. So this is the stuff that don't nobody tell you until you try to figure it out. But
Mm-hmm.
it depends on your withholdings, right? So like, let's say my 401k was 50K, right?
Uh-huh.
They took out 5,000 of that before they gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I get taxed per income on a 50K, even though the 5K was already taken out.
Ah, okay. So wait, so let me ask you this. I mean, like I said, we delving a little bit away from the topic of negotiation, but
But this is all a part of the negotiation because you need to know what you're getting into. Because when you're doing the 1090, when you're doing a C2C, you got to fund your own retirement.
no, I'm saying back to it, like the
Yeah.
same conversation, or not to the negotiating, but like say for instance, I mean, I ain't trying to tell all your business stuff like that, but you got a business and with you buying the building or however you're doing it, couldn't you
The
have
building is bought
used
and paid for.
yeah, so can you have used the money that you did for the 401k, not take the hit and use it for the building? Because I was told you could buy property and not receive any penalty at all.
Yes, if you did like if I had if it was a property that I was living in, it wouldn't have been a
Okay.
penalty.
But as a
And
business, it's a penalty.
yeah, because it has commercial space. Now, I was telling them it's a commercial and business property. I mean, it's a commercial and residential.
Hmm.
But
I
because
just
I
would
wasn't
stay there.
employed there no more, they was trying to move my 401k off of their books anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's all rigmarole. It's get them while it's done.
Okay. So cool. So within the negotiation, like when you talking to them, 'cause I know for me, one thing I've dealt with is being lowballed, and when you become a commodity, or like say for instance when I'm not working or anything like that, so when people are looking at your experience that you have, you start getting hit up by multiple recruiters for the same role just because you have that capacity to be able to complete it. And I've been in scenarios where someone says, hey, I mean, I just thought say, hey, I can do 70 on W2. This one to say, well, we can only go up to 60 on W2. Then this other one to say, well, I could give you 85 on W2. So honestly, like in that scenario, most of the time, of course, I'm gonna take the higher number, but at the same, I want them to compete against each other. So I'm like, well, this one over here is offering me 85 on W2. for the same exact role, for the same. I mean, they be like, "Oh, well, what's the rec? Is it something?" I was like, "No, you guys both or all three of you called me the same day whenever this position became available and told me, hey, we want to know if we wanted to put you up for this role. They try to make you sign like a RTR or a right to represent. And with that is like, can't nobody else, it's kind of a piece of paper, but at the same time, you're telling them like, we only want this person to represent you in that for that position. But sometimes, but you'll get lowball, like I say, well, I can't go above 60 or I can't go above 70 or I can't go above, and like when you get to the one that says 85, it's like, well, shoot, it's just what it is. I mean, because one thing I did have to negotiate also was your rate for your house, your my interest rate
Interest
for my
rate.
home. Yeah. So as an example, prime example, like this is dead ass like me having to deal with it. I had someone that he was trying to be my friend and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, I could get you. And this was when I had already bought the home because, I was looking at refinancing and stuff like that and, cutting out my conventional loan.
PMI.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the PMI to convert to a conventional loan. Now,
Yeah.
understand this part. And Brian just mentioned it. A PMI is a part of your mortgage that goes to nothing. It doesn't protect you at all. It protects them. So understand that you don't want to be paying the PMI. The PMI does nothing. It's literally if you foreclose on your house or anything, whatever happens, the bank is protected. So you're paying them insurance for them. So essentially, you don't want that on your mortgage if you can. And they do that for all first time home buyers.
Well,
Now,
they do it for anybody who doesn't have more than they didn't put more down than like you got to put down 20%.
yeah, 20%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's what I was getting to. It's like in order to not have that on your account, you have to at least get your mortgage up to 20. So I had to pay almost up to 20%. But my way of getting around it was I gained value in my house. So gaining value or equity within your house, say for instance, I bought my house for almost 300,000. When I got the house, you say 300,000. I'm just trying to have a round number. Me living in the house, it got to 400,000 as far as the equity, which means that I gained 100,000
Value.
equity within
Yeah.
the house. Yeah,
The value went to 400. The equity was 100. So then you are 25%.
Yeah, so 25% over. Or if you refinance all that stuff, right? So the house is worth 400,000. I paid 300,000. I'm already paying on the mortgage anyway, but I'm paying that extra PMI plus whatever rate it is. Now it's a little bit tricky now because rates, kind of skyrocketed up since 2023, 2024. People were getting like my rate. I got my rate down to a 2.25, where I was at. I started at 3.75 or something like that. But what I'm saying is be cautious when you're negotiating, when you're trying to refinance and do these things, because I had the one guy, back to the original thing I was saying, I had one guy who's like, oh man, if you refinance to get get this PMI loan off, I switch you over to conventional. What he was telling me was, hey, your house, and I'm going to use the numbers that I provided, your house is worth 400,000. So what I can do is I can reverse your loan or get you another loan, and I can cut it down to 20% of that. So say 400,000, you're at 20%. What's that? 320,000. So
like three. Yeah.
yes. So I can get it to 320,000. But then you don't have the PMI loan to pay anymore, but I can get you at a lower rate just to switch it. And most of the time in the conventional sense, you're going to go up. And I did go up, but the guy was like, hey, I can do 5.25. And I was like, well, I mean, that's kind of dumb. I told you I was at 2.25. I was like, well,
3.7.
no, I started at 3.75. I refinanced at 2.25.
Yeah.
So I was at 2.25. He's like, well, 5, but you don't have to worry, like you own a conventional loan. You're not paying the PMI no more. The PMI insurance that I said that's worth nothing to you. And he was like, well, 5 point, like I said, he's trying to be my friend and all that stuff and get to know. I was like, all right, well, because the thing about it is none of these people are your friends, whether they're your realtor, whether they're your lender, etc. They're not your friends. Get the best rate that makes sense for you. And I started talking around, and you'll get these letters in the mail like, oh, we can refinance, we can get you down to paying $800 a month. I'm like, whatever. Okay, cool. But and I've never paid under 2,000. Well, I never paid under 1,500 for my mortgage. But anyway, someone else hit me, was like, hey, I can get you down to 4.68. And then the other guy, but I'm still talking, it's kind of like dating, right? It's like you get what's best for you to be able to, because you're committing to this, right? Like, this is a home. This is a 15-year, 30-year mortgage. If you can get a better rate for 15 or 30 years, or whatever you commit to, then that just makes more sense. I mean, that's more money in your pocket, So I'm still talking to him, and I'm like, okay, like, you got to be able to come down below this. Oh man, I did everything I could. Like, that's all I could do. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then I talked to the other person, and they was like, hey, look, I could lock you in right now for 4.64. And if you want to do that, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. And I reached out to another mortgage company or lender company, and they told me they can only go above 5. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go with this 4.68 or 4.64. And then dude hit me. He was like, hey man, so what you gonna do? Because he was trying to rush me. He's like, man, the rate ain't gonna never, get no better than this, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna figure it out. Then he sent me a text one time. He was like, tell me you didn't go with another company. I was like, yeah, like, yes, I did. And that's just the nature of the business. Like, you're gonna get the best rate as possible. So I got one more. I got one more too. So when I'm buying my house, right? I'm talking to, like, I ended up buying the house that I negotiated down to. I'm talking to the realtor. I tell the realtor, and like I said, she's cool, good people and all that stuff. But when it comes down, and I told her straight up, and I'll tell you what I told her in a second. I was like, hey, because the house I ended up paying like $276. But anyway, I told her, I was like, hey, go to them, tell them you'll do $270. They pay the closing costs, which is like 6% overall. You pay 3 to the realtor and 3 to the seller, or 3 to the seller's realtor or whatever. So I was like, nah. I told her, I was like, this is what I want. She was like, well, that's kind of low because the house was on the market for $285. And I was like, who do you work for? Like, that's what I was just about to.
That's what I was just about to say. All these people work for you.
Yeah, like we could be friends. We could have drinks. We could do all of these things. But at the same time, this is what you're committing to, And she went to him and told him, because by law they technically supposed to, they, as a realtor, they supposed to. It's like a lawyer thing. Like, you literally have to go with the offer, especially if you're in the midst of locking in on signing or trying to purchase a house. So she was like, well, they didn't go for that. I was like, okay, tell them $275. They do all the closing costs. She was like, okay, cool. Then she's like, $280. Because, I mean, like I said, they turned it down. I got all the way up to $282.5. And she was like, well, I was like, listen, I'm not trying to call you out on stuff, but you work for me. I'm paying you to do this. So if they don't go for it, then shit, I go buy another house. You know what I'm saying? It's just like committing to the relationship. Like, if the relationship ain't what you want it to be, then get the fuck up out of that relationship. Like, if it ain't giving you the things that you want, get the fuck up out of that. Like, you say, hey, he beat me. Hey, she doing this to me. She get on my goddamn nerves. Get the fuck out of that house. You know what I'm saying to it? Like, I ended up going under contract under 2 other houses, and granted, like, the inspections failed, and then I came back to this house, and I was like, hey, tell him $275. He pays all, no, $274. He pays all of the closing costs. He went for it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I moved into the house with equity. It's negotiating. It's learning how.
And then so in this game, these people really working for you, right? Because they trying to get their best. You basically paying them, and like you said earlier,
no, you are not. You are paying these niggas, like, you are paying them to talk to somebody else, and they just, not to say that they just want the commission, but they are getting paid to do something for you. They're not. It's not somebody looking out for you. It's automatic law that you have to pay the 3% to 3%. I mean, but it's just crazy that people feel like,
you don't have to match. You don't have to match that no more. So like the max is that you can, because now you don't even have to pay the buyer realtor. It's on the other side of that.
I know. You can pay whatever. I mean, you can agree to whatever term. You can say, hey, look, I want to pay this. I'll pay all of the closing costs. He pays all the closing costs. shoot, somebody has
Yeah,
to pay them.
yeah. I'm taking this 360 though. I'm taking it back to the recruiter,
Mhm.
right? The recruiter works for you. You got to understand that.
Yep.
She's trying to package, he or she is trying to package you up to go to the business and say, hey, look, this is my client. These are his credentials. They match what you have in the JD. This is what you say. Now we are hiring, like you hire him. If he's the person that you want for the job, and like we got the credentials, right?
Mhm.
They're here, they're there, and at the same time you have different companies doing it too because they're trying to, and that margin in between those offers, oh, the best I can do on a 1099 is $65.
Mhm.
I don't think that's the best you can do. And I tell people like,
That's
you my
crazy.
Jerry Maguire, you my Jerry Maguire.
Mhm.
I want you to show me the money, Jerry.
Yeah.
Show me the money. Like, I'll be
That's so
tripping with
funny
him.
to me. Like, cause back in the day, you'd be like, "Well, I need the money." You're like, "Nah, I don't." When you have the people don't realize even if they're just starting out or whatever, they still are the bargaining chip because the thing is, whatever you sell yourself for is what you're gonna have to do the work for. It doesn't. It's not the work. I go into the negotiation like even before I even consider saying a number. I'm like, how large are the teams I'm working with? I had to tell this one company the other day. They said they was like, yeah, we'll do you at where they said I think it was like 73 per hour or something like that. I was like, how large is the team I'll be managing? Dude said 35 people. I'm like, nah, I was like, you got to up that much. Like that's 200. I should at least get 200K for managing 20 to 35 people. I was like, nah, I was like, I ain't doing that. I was like, that's crazy. I mean, it's
That's a whole department. Like, what in the
listen,
world?
nigga, you are the CTO at that point in time of that, or you the VP. Like literally that, and that's the level shit that you got to understand. Like, say for instance, with me with product ownership, product management, like most of the time I'm managing between like 6 to 10 people, not more than that. Sometimes the teams are, just depend on if you have an offshore resource, and that means like you're paying someone that works in India or Africa or wherever they're working from. You're paying them a certain amount to be able to do the work in off hours or whatever time frames they decide to commit to. But nah, bro, like that's what I'm saying. Like understand what you're signing up for before you're negotiating. Like they'll tell you like, oh, it's a you're a developer and you'll be doing this. Whereas you might be the lead developer, the only developer, and then now it's like, well, shit, you should be 250. Like one job I was talking to, I'm like, yo, this isn't a PM role, this isn't a product owner role. I was like, this is a sales architect or a solutions architect. And I didn't see solution architect get broke off like 250, 300K. And I'm like, oh, y'all over here talking below 200K. I was like, no, you got to up the numbers, and this is without a job. So just
Well,
imagine when I'm negotiating with a job, my
yeah.
God, like,
Well, see, that winning time is really what gave me a better perspective of it, right? Like, and then like we got Jerry Jones tripping out on his little media days and stuff like that. But winning time really, like when Magic Johnson was with Jerry Buss and he said, "Hey, Jerry, I want $1 million." He's like, "Hey, that's never been said before. Well, you ain't never had a nigga like me play you for you, right? I'm
Mhm,
worth it. I'm worth it." So I started thinking, I was like, dog, I build stuff. I build stuff that save people a lot of money and make people a lot of money. Like
mhm.
I got millions under my belt as far as transactions and stuff that I've done, and I'm worth every penny of it. And when you know that, and you come to the negotiating table, and that's just like, dude, a lot of times I tell people, hey, I ain't even gonna waste your time. That you starting way too low for me. Like
I had to end off conversations. I'm like, nah,
yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to agree to disagree and then just move to the next thing. Should I had somebody say, like, yeah, we do you 110 an hour. I was like, and this is before I even said the number, right? I was like, and I'm filling out, and this is a thing that you can always do. Like Brian mentioned this before, is that ask them what's the range that you're looking at, or ask them what's the market range that company is expecting to hire someone within that role. And I definitely would have end up not saying lessen my value because I have a rate, but my rate number was below the 100. I was like, oh, okay. No, let's stick with the rate that you're mentioning. Let's
Yeah, I'm good with
then
that.
I up my rate.
Let's stretch that a little bit. Right? You sure
Sure.
that's the best? And I always say, hey, is that the best you can offer? Like that's just
Yeah.
I've learned to say that. I said that's the best you can do for me. Is that because like when you ask people that, sometimes it catch them off guard and be like, well, I really could do better, but like because I want them to do what's best. Like what's the best offer you got for me? And
And do your
again,
research. Do your research of the roles. You know, I had someone ask me about a scrum master position, and they were like, well, you know, do you think that that's a good amount to ask for? I'm like, yo, the number you're asking for is a number for you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could survive off of 30 per hour, that's you. If you can survive off of 50 per hour, it's literally what you can survive off of. I mean, not survive, but live off of. I don't want to just survive. And that's why I switched up the term. But it's like you start to, like when that guy mentioned the 100 rate, I was like, oh, shoot. Let me go back and check, you know, where everybody's at right now. Because, of course, every number should have went up. And mine went up, but it didn't. I was like, oh, well, maybe I could ask for 90 an hour. 80, I mean, like, and up my numbers just because I'm over here like, well, shoot, I'd be happy to have 70 per hour and be fine. But no, I had to up my value just based off of a value that was being offered from a company. I was like, well, no, let's look at this across the board. And if they say I can't do it, they could technically do it, but they just don't want to. Like I looked at a rate one time, it said the position said 130 to 181, and they tried to offer me 150. I was like, no, I want 181 400. That was the max number that was on. I was like, I want the full thing. I mean, I match all criteria. I'm 5 or 8 years product management experience, MBA, Salesforce certification, have 3 of them. And they had it wasn't PMP, oh, the Safe E agile certification, had that too, you know. So I'm like, no, I hit all your check boxes and everything that you're saying within this rec I match. So there's no reason why you can say, well, we got to give you this amount versus the max. I deserve the max because that's what y'all wrote the rec out. And that's where, you know, some companies, not to say they screw up with, but if you tell me the range between, and some people automatically go to the low end, I'm like, no, go high. You can always negotiate down, but you can never negotiate up. And that's
yeah,
just
it's
life in
more
general.
of a yeah. I mean, I get my references from sports. Like I was like, yo, is it they like
Magic was well worth it.
right, right, right. You know
The
what I'm
face
saying?
of the league. You know what I'm saying? Him and Bird, like literally changed the face of the league from
I mean,
drugs and shenanigans and fights and all that stuff, changed the way the game was played. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole different game now.
made it an event.
Yep.
Made it prime time TV, right? So I look at what's my man that played for Baltimore,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said he worth it. He said that look, I put people in seats,
Mm-hmm.
and like whatever you doing, do your best at it. And when you tell people what you do, like right now, I ain't even working, but I make money I've been making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can say, hey, look, I've created this, that, and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this, I went from $0 to $10,000 a month, and I'm moving up. So like I'm worth
My value. I'm worth
that.
at least this and
Yeah,
plus more because the way that they monetize it, you're doing it for a larger company. It's on a larger scale than you
It's a
work for
multiple.
yourself. So
It's a
like
multiple.
so
Yeah.
now the work that I'm doing that's generating $10,000 a month is generating this company shit $1 million a month or however much money, just making it easier for them with your knowledge. So no, I need at least fucking I would love to have 10% of 10 million, but shit, I mean, I'm okay with 5. Give me 5. I'm cool. 2.5.
Again, once you know the type of numbers you're working with, that's when you get and having the confidence to say no, to say, hey, I ain't here to waste nobody's time. Like, so I will say what's the range, and if the range ain't nowhere near me, I'm like, oh dog, we got it. Like,
Yeah,
I appreciate it,
and
but
it's
you
okay.
like
It's like that with relationships, dog. It's just like, hey, look, this ain't working out the way that you want it. Because people don't realize that, like, you don't have to be in, like, you choose. I mean, well, I guess if you have family or kids and stuff like that, you don't have to be in these relationships. But I'm saying, like, me personally, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't work for me. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Then you try to figure out how to be out with kids or marriage or however you do it, but you get out. You don't I don't think you should ever stick through thick and thin if you know it's not going to work. And most of the time, most people know that. I mean, of course, you could marriages, you can figure those things out. And like I said, this comes from somebody that's not been married. So I mean, don't take this with a grain of
Like,
salt
wait,
or a cup of sugar. Like whatever,
ever?
like, but nah, but it's literally like understanding, like, okay, this is something that I can't get past. I mean, like infidelity or whatever things come up. It's like, this is something I'll never get past. So if you know you're never going to get past it, get out of it.
And that's a life lesson right there. Because like I have to tell people all the time, look, man, there are always going to be things, tribulations, trials, and tribulations in your life. Is how you can come back from that. So like, if in a marriage you saying that you can't come back from infidelity, that's cool. That's on you. But you made that commitment to God to say, the richer and poor, the sickness and health, the death do us part. And if you can't be real with that. If
don't get married.
I feel like you shouldn't say without
agree to your
I feel
own
like
terms.
Add your own term in there.
Right? Like,
add your own term.
And look, that comes down to negotiating. Like literally, a lot of people don't understand it. Like a lot of people just want to rush and be like, oh well, we've been together for years. Like we might as well get married. It's like, well, no, that's not the case. Like if you decide if you can be with somebody forever, and then that's what you do it. But if there's certain clauses that need to be included in that, include those in there before you even get married,
Right. And that kind of leads us into that next topic, right? The life regrets, big life regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do get in a situation, like I went to the Navy, man. Like that was like it ended up working out. But that was my biggest life resort because I always kept thinking, hey, if it don't work out, I can go to the armed service and make my money there. Mm-hmm. If it don't work out, dog, that was the worst decision I ever made. I volunteered to do some stuff I would never do, and I did it to the Navy where I don't even really do water. But you know what I'm saying? And but I went to the Navy, right? So that in itself, but I had to figure out a way to get out. Mm-hmm. Without ruining my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is
Nigga, you was in the Navy?
Oh yeah. I was in the Navy for 3 months.
Damn. Oh, okay. Well, 3 months. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to figure out the timeline. I'm like, well, I mean, if you had said you had to do the whole 4 years, I'd have been like, okay, cool. But yeah,
I signed up for 6 because the job that I had, like, they were so happy with my test results. They was like, yo, you could be the ET. So like I had like 3 years of school. So they want 2 years of school. So they wanted me to be in there 4 years after I went to school. So again, bullshit. I had to learn.
Oh, so you had to do 4. Oh, okay. I guess that kind of so you had to do 4 years.
I signed up for 6 years because they were saying basically 2 years I was going to be the specialist, right? So my job was going to have the specialist training. So basically I was going to have 2 years of training, basically, right? And then they wanted that 4 years straight up. And they gave me all that sweetheart stuff. Oh yeah, you got this bonus, you got this and that. And I was like, okay, bet $30,000 bonus. But what they don't tell you, and like when they say you get paid like an E6 as like when you first come in, that I think it was an E4 because when they say that they talking about when you get done with your schooling, like they just give you that pay raise and that's what's going to be that bonus.
Oh, that's some so wait, so you said 30,000? That's the number you said?
Yeah.
So 30,000. They were going to spread that over for the 4 years, or
spread it over. It was in increments as I passed through training, but that's not passed through. Yeah,
so 30 total.
Yeah. So it was. My biggest regret was going early, right? So this was 96, the end of 96.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Navy because I went to Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I had left GMI, and I was like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
just go
had
back.
choices after Kettering, right, or GMI.
Yeah, I had left GMI, and I was like, oh, I can go to my school, a school of Milwaukee School of Engineering, which was a private school, but they had gave me a full ride
Mm-hmm.
back when I graduated high school. So I was like, I just like that's where I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the boat across the lake, went there.
Damn, nigga.
Uh,
See,
yeah, man.
that's why we should have been talking to each other. I mean, I know, we had fell out for whatever reasons, but goddamn, nigga, I didn't know you lived in Milwaukee, nigga.
Dog, I lived in Milwaukee for 2 days. And I'm gonna tell you. So when I got there, got in the dorm,
Well,
moved
I
my
guess
stuff in.
I guess it wasn't that much. I mean, that much
Yeah,
I didn't know. I mean, I'm here 2 days. I'm here 3 months. It's like,
yeah,
long as
yeah.
it ain't like 4 years. I'm like, damn, this nigga stayed in Milwaukee for 4 years.
No, no, no. I got like I said, I got there. My financial aid, like there was like, yo, we got an issue with the financial aid. I, I
Oh,
worked that
that's
first day to get the financial aid together, right? But then it was like, well, we can't offer you the scholarship now because we like other people have came in, and like so I was like, so you telling me I got to pay another $7,000? So I'm gonna have to take. That's the reason why I left the last school because I didn't want to pay 10 grand. You know what I'm saying?
you,
So I was like, this ain't gonna work.
you
So
know what pissed me off. This is a side note, but kind of a side note. I got to school and I was in the student service building, and I was just doing orientation, and I looked to the side, and that's why I regret not. And this is a major regret as well too. So it's kind of on topic, on par, but I was, we was doing orientation, and so I'm signed up for class. I'm waiting to sign up for class. I look to like my left. And I'm in the student service building, and it has all of these pamphlets about different scholarships and stuff like that. And so I'm trying to get a scholarship. Motherfucker trying to get a scholarship. I look over and I see a scholarship that matches exactly what like my experience, going into, coming from high school to college. It was called the Distinguished Gentleman Scholarship. And it was for black men only. You had to have a two and above, and that was it.
you
It
couldn't
was
even get into
full.
Michigan State with a 2-2, right?
Well, you could get in through uh God, I forgot. Chauncey got in through that program, and Mario, I don't know if you know Rio, but Rio got in from Hikes. I can't think of it. Mario Brown. He got in based off of that program. It was some program. I think it was called, was it CAP? Something like that. It was a program where if you have below the GPA standards, then you can get in, but you got to just take certain courses when you get to the school.
Oh,
But
you got to be in remedial courses for like the
yeah,
first
I was trying not to use remedial, but yes, you got to take like certain. You got
sub
to take
100 classes. I'm sorry, sub
like,
100
you got to
classes.
take like math 1825. Like there was no taking like calculus or pre-cal or anything like that. But all that being said, I graduated with a 3.6, and I'm black. I should have had that scholarship. And it was, like I said, different times, different, like I said, it's a regret, but it's a regret that I can't really. And like I said, that wasn't like one of the regrets I was going to talk about, but it was literally a 4-year scholarship for anybody with a 2.2 and above coming out of high school. And I'm like, damn. So I start trying to figure out, and I go up to the lady. I'm like, hey, how do I apply for this right now? She's like, oh, it's too late.
Yeah, because you're
And
already
next time
there.
you could, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was fucking screwed, but because it was like June or July, whenever I did my orientation. But I'm just saying, like those types of things, not having that type of exposure was, and I guess a regret. I can say that not to say that I wanted to go to. I mean, because we went to a pretty large high school, but at the same time, I feel like we weren't exposed to opportunities to getting out of Muskegon. So when I went down to Killeen or when I went down to Texas, it was a whole different, like I was on a campus, like in Muskegon is a pretty big school, or Muskegon High School is a pretty big school, but down there it was like damn near Bayside High,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it was all separated and stuff, like we were all intermingled together, like there was no, well, that's the football team or this the track team or that, like we all was cool because we all intermingled within sports, education, etc. But Alderman said that was one of the largest regrets. I'm like, God damn, I could have had a full ride if I knew about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even have the exposure to it, and that's why I
Let
really.
me ask you a question. Did you go to the student service office before you came in as a student?
No, I went to the whole ass counselors and asked them directly for Michigan State scholarships. Like I
Oh,
went to
you talking about the counselors at
Miss
Mesquite
Brookshire. I went to it was another dude I had to go to shit.
Cross?
Miss Brookshire tried to hold the shit out of me one time. Like
Cross, yeah, Cross too, right?
huh?
Because
Yeah, Cross, yeah. So I went to Miss Brookshire and was like, and this one, nigga, I couldn't afford, and I think I either told you or Eddie, one of the two. But I went to them. I was like, hey, look, like, cause my mom, I give it to my mom. Like my mom be on just saving money, but my mom be on shit. But she was like, I was like, hey, I'm trying to apply. I need this money to be able for the application. She was like, you better. They got free money for
waivers.
that. So
They got waivers.
Go ask the counselor for that. I went back to Miss Brookshire. She wasn't trying to give them to me. Shit, I think it might have been Tamika Pipkin or Tamika Page now, but I remember, I think it was her. I remember she was somehow involved in it where she got me copies of it because I used those copies to be able to apply for other schools that I was considering.
That's wild because like my sister told me about it
or something like that. I think Tamika worked in like the principal or the one of them offices.
The guidance office. Yeah. But my sister had told me about it, and big shouts out to the big sisters and stuff because my older sister was actually my guiding hand when
That's
she went.
And she what 1 year older than you or two?
Yeah, 1 year, 15 months.
Yeah.
So she put me into the right geometry course because I didn't have traditional geometry, and which changed projection of how Cross seen me, how because like they was like, yo, this dude really care about his education. And Mr. Mullally, my math teacher, was intricate in getting me where I needed to be too. So like I will give it up to the teachers at Muskegon High School because like they definitely made me a better person.
Man, fuck, I got totally different.
Man, because Mr. Hoffman actually challenged me a lot more than what he was like, yo, you can write, but like you not writing about nothing. You not right. And I was like, that's the way I talk. Like I write like I talk.
Worley. That's probably like the only one that I can say offhand that I mean, but
see, Mr. Worley came up there with us, like so, like he was my history teacher back at Bunker. So like, yeah,
Mr. Worley and Mr. Murphy. But Mr. Murphy was through track too.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, Mr. Murphy, he was cool with me, but but I fucked with him. Miss Murphy, I only had her for help, but they were all cool. Maybe it was because of Lewis, because Lewis ran track and got all the records and shit. But yeah, they was. But outside of that, I remember one time like Miss Albers, her ass, like I was told that she's still alive, but I remember me and Dre, we was in what was that econ or whatever, and I was like, how's this nigga like this nigga's literally asking me for every answer.
Nigga, I am the only reason why he got through biology. I tell Dre this stuff all the time. I'll be like, dog, I am the only reason why, because that was Mr.
I'm about to tell that nigga stop talking so loud.
Yeah,
because he's trying to cheat and he can't whisper. I'm like, stop talking so loud. I was like, here's my TI-85. Here's all the answers.
Hey, but he followed you to Michigan State though, right?
Yeah, he went to say, he went all state, and he ran football, or he played football for Michigan State. Yeah, he played under Nick Saban and shit. So but I'm like, God damn, man. I was like, can you at least be secretive or discreet about like that?
I mean, that head rub.
Hey, I don't know this answer, man. Like, can you like nigga?
Yeah,
like
that's
she
crazy.
Don't see you talking to me, like.
And then the head rub, like you really don't know the answer. Like I didn't know that was real until Dre was like, he was like, "What did you see about the autonomy?" He was like, "Autonomy."
That's funny as hell. Nah, look, I you know what's funny? Random thing. I did not know Dre was Jonathan Walker until I was in class with him. At all. I did not know that he played football. I did not know anything. Like I was in band, but I didn't know that. I never put Dre and Jonathan Walker together. I only knew him as Dre. So I never knew that he would like Dre was sweet as fuck as football. Like I think he had ran for like 1,500
You
yards.
got them records up there. You got them
Listen,
records.
Vince Albers brought his what you call it when you go he went to state or whatever. Like he was a recognized football player. Like he went all state. That's the word I'm looking for. And she brought his plaque into the classroom with him. I was like, fuck, that's you. You know, like,
oh, that's when you learn. See, I knew Dre. I had
football
met Dre.
was over.
Yeah, I had met Dre when I went to Steel. And he was a cool dude. Because he lived right around the corner from Dad's house. On Amity. So he was a cooler dude back then, right? And we was all like he was a hustler. His brother was a hustler, and like it was like, but like yeah. So Dre was there's. I'm glad that
I never put it together that they was together. Like they were once synonymous in the same.
Jonathan Andre Walker. That is his name.
I've only known him as Dre his whole life. I knew him when we were younger, but like I didn't know that was because I never played football like that, so I didn't really put the two together. I was like, oh, that's Dre. Like literally looking at his Class A All-State recognition, in the class, I was like, damn, mind blowing. But
so they never called him Jonathan. See, that's how they called him Jonathan.
Johnny, but I was like, why is she calling him Johnny and shit? Oh, Johnny. I'm like, Miss Albers, like, the fuck, like, but I never put like the football player and him together. Like, I never tied it. And like I said, I was in band, so we would go to certain games. I mean, we played at every home game. So but I never put it together that was him. And
now, I did not know the band packed up like that, dog. Like y'all packed up a lot of stuff, man. I was like, dang, y'all need.
Like nigga, we was in Indiana. Nigga, I remember it was this band, Ken High School.
Dog. The band is a serious beast, dog. Like we went and bought a trailer for the band. We raised money for the trailer for the band. I did not know all the stuff that they need to do to put on the production, and that is, from music sheets to everything to like. I went to band camp with my daughter, and that was like a whole nother vibe. All 4 years, I was the man at band camp. Everybody wanted to be in my cabin because I was kind of chill. Yeah. It's like
band camp was always fun, man. I only thing I've ever regretted about band, and I was talking to Kelly Josh about that like this past week or the homecoming weekend, but he was saying how it was like we would go to certain places and they would just be all vegan and stuff like that. We're like, yo, where the meat at? Like I still remember like when she mentioned, I was like, it's little things that, and this is why I say like class reunions is cool because you don't remember everything. But when she brought that up, I was like, damn, I do remember that when we went there, and I think we went there maybe 2 years in a row where it was just all vegan food, no meat, no nothing. We was like,
what was that? A Seventh Advantage?
I think Seventh Day Adventist. Yeah, I think it's Seventh Day Adventist. So
so that's what I learned that because working for Advantage Health, I was like, yo, they would not order anything with meat, and I was like, yo, we can't get no meat, like pizza with no meat, like
that shit was terrible. I mean, it wasn't like we got used to it, but it was just one of them. I'm like, damn. I would like a hamburger, like it was, bean, and it wasn't even like the good vegan stuff. It was just like the processed vegan food. So we literally had to eat whatever they gave us, and we either ate it or we just went to sleep. So
man, it's like they had ravioli stuff, like noodles and stuff. I don't subscribe to. So well, we do. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. We jump into the last topic. I had put this on here maybe at the last minute, but actually I think it might be one more after this, but we can go into this one. But how was you influenced like growing up? Like what was the things that make you are what you are today? Like what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna have my family this way because I saw it this way, or this is how I'm gonna get money. Like what was the things that kind of drove you into your direction?
Well, man, growing up in the streets, my mom said we went in the streets, but like our whole house was like my family is the streets, right? My grandmother was a hustler, right? So like I seen her firsthand create stuff that had value, right? And she gave me these gems that I will never forget. Like she was like, look, when you want to buy something, you gotta think about it and say, hey, what I think about it now in this ROI, right? She's like, how long will it take for you to get your money back? Like, you want that camera?
There
I want
are.
the bike. You know what I'm saying? I want the bike. She said,
Mhm.
what could you do with that bike to get your money back? I was like, well, I can do a paper route and get on my bike and do this. She was like, okay, so now you're thinking. She said, so how long would it take you to get that money back for that bike? And I was like, it was a Huffy. I think it was like $75 at the time from Sears. And I was like, shoot, I don't know how much people make on a paper route. You know what I'm saying? But
Nigga, I
I
used to
got that
be dick
concept.
paper route, nigga. Nobody wanted to pay me and shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn.
I was negative on my paper route. That's why I ended up losing it. But so her opening up businesses, trying to like buying houses and stuff and being like this is a lady that was born in the 1920s and basically was less than a couldn't vote until the 1960s.
Mhm.
So, like, what was crazy to me was all the stuff she created, all the stuff that she made uh, when she wasn't supposed to. So I was like, oh, that right there is my inspiration to be like, yo, I could be greater than what anybody else believes in me, right?
Mhm.
Uh, what about you?
I would say my mom. Um, and I say that as I mean, of course, there's I got rappers that I looked up to. I mean, like I would say NWA. I'm going to my mom, but I think NWA, as far as from a music perspective, they because back then you listen to music, it was kind of like this whole fairy tale and things like that. But I feel like when NWA came out, NWA really showed me you can have a voice and you can have a voice and don't nobody fuck with it, but you can still have a voice. Like it, I mean, back in the day, it was talking about like, well, let me, you like me, yes or no, and then NWA was like, fuck you, bitch, and kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was kind of like that whole mentality for me. Like, that was, I feel like, where I shifted to not really. I mean, of course, you still want to, keep in and fit in with people, but at the same time, that was when I was more comfortable to not fit in because they didn't fit in, but everybody had to acclimate to them, which is
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people
So
don't realize that. I mean, I remember you used to be bringing like fucking shit niggas from Flint. I mean, outside of Breed and stuff like that. You nigga, you just bringing like all this different music.
Top
I'm like,
Authority and
yeah,
yeah, Dayton Family,
yeah.
yeah, and
You bring like I'm listening. I'm like, it's not fitting within the what like your
the
New York
commercial
rap and
norms,
stuff like
right?
that. But it was still cool. You know what I'm saying? Like even stuff from like Outkast and stuff like that. And I still like even with Outkast when they went on stage and it didn't it felt big at that time just because of the whole East Coast West Coast beef and stuff like that. But like when they went on stage and said, "Yo, the South got something to say," because like I said, Outkast is my favorite group. So hearing them say that and kind of watching how the game shifted within music, and it went south. And when it went south, it hasn't came back up. Like it's literally the South still dictates how the sound go currently. So all that being said, like when NWA just showed me like say it how you want to say it. They fuck with it, cool. If not, cool too. That's why I said I've gotten better at it, but I used to try to not say certain things to offend certain people. Now I don't give a fuck if you offended. Get offended. We have a drink and we figure it out, or we don't, and then I don't fuck with you forever because you're just one person of many that I can build within life. And then I'll say with my mom always showed me like the work ethic. Like I had to learn. I would say she impacted me two different ways, like positive and negative. She showed me like I say negatively is like she would work her ass off to be able to get money. But at the same time, on the positive side, I had to learn how to work smarter to work my ass off to get money. So now I work smarter and harder just to not work as hard as she did. So that influence kind of make it easier for me. Like even something as simple as DJing, right? So even with DJing, when I bought my shit, like I bought my shit like it was like the end of it's like my first year started was like January 97. I wasn't no DJ at this point in time, but I bought my equipment January 1997. And when I got it, she's like, yo, why you spending this money?
I
Blah
was
blah
in the
blah.
Navy.
Yeah. she was like, why are you buying this equipment and blah blah blah. I was like, well, and this is the thing. I mapped it out. I was like, well, if I move out the dorm, I'm gonna get a refund. When I get that refund, I'm gonna pay what I would normally use my refund for is my rent and stuff like that. I was like, I'll just pay that out of pocket. I'll buy my equipment and I'll make up, and I only have to struggle that semester. You know what I'm saying? So I struggled that semester as far as, paying for. I had a job though, but I mean, I paid the things I had to do, but then I had my DJ equipment to be able to lean back on. And even still, I didn't start really DJing majorly until, not majorly, but, on a higher level until like 99, 2000. Cause, back then people didn't really trust you like that. And plus you had that, like, it wasn't a computer thing. So it was, have records and stuff like that. So you had to have the right stuff to rock the party. So all the men said, I would say that's the major influence, well, the two at least. And then I respect like everybody's hustle too. So you got your, like from a rap perspective, you got your Master P's, your Jay-Z's and stuff like that just told you, don't do it like this, do it like this. And and when I'm saying do it like this is like do it your way. Don't do it the way everybody's telling you, because I mean, Jay-Z, it's funny. Jay-Z said a line on 444, which was that 3 years ago, 2 years or 4 years ago? And he said
that was like 2018, 2019.
Was it that long ago? Well, okay. I mean, it was before COVID, so yeah, I would guess at least 5 years before that. But he said a line on there where he was like, y'all still signing record deals? You know what I'm saying? I thought I told y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just always interesting that, and it's weird too when rappers say, well, Nas is my influence, or this is my influence. I was like, but yo, this dude is literally telling y'all, like, even if you said like Master P was my influence, because Master P was the smartest. Master P just took what he had already, like he took product, he did it like a drug dealer. He took product that he already sold and repackaged it, and y'all bought it and consumed it. And that nigga was he had an 80-20 deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just those types of things. Like I like people that are thinking versus like the ones that are just, I want to say making noise, but I like to see longevity in the game. So I would attribute it to them. So,
and not a lot of people can do that 444 album. I was just looking at the at Master P. I mean, not Master P, but Snoop Dogg, Master Ace, Snoop Dogg, and Method Man song, and it's like they trying to still do the same stuff that they was doing in the 90s into the ice cream truck type stuff, like butter pecan chocolate deluxe. But like you got 444 where Jay-Z literally says, I'm trying to give you game for $9.99, because he went about art for $1 million. It was worth $2 million later, right?
That's the 50-50 side of it, man. Like people really be like, well, why he buying art? He don't need to be buying that. You know what I'm saying? But other people is like, no, that's dope what he's doing. And that's where it's just weird when people say, well, it's like you don't have to like Jay-Z's music, but at least like his hustle.
You got to respect the hustle. And that's the one thing that and on that same 444 album, which might be my favorite Jay-Z album, because he was talking real to me at that time. Mm-hmm. He was like, what's better than 1 billionaire? 2 billionaires, right? Yeah. And so like what people don't understand, and I tell people this all the time, we all get money, right?
People always feel like it's competition. I never understood that level of it. Like, yo, we can get money together. Like, why we both got to be sitting up here trying to compete against each other? Like, and I never like. We don't have to work together, but that don't mean you my op. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. Like, you don't have to. You're not. I told this one dude or whatever, because I remember one time I was DJing back in Lansing, and this guy. He was like, oh, man, you ain't going to never be able to get no money out of there, man. This is going to be terrible, man. I hate that place. But I looked at it a different way. I was like, oh, no. I was like, no, like, my overhead is me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not paying for the venue because the owner wants me to bring people in here. So if I get 25 people in here, only thing I'm worried about is paying the security. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so you was the promoter and the DJ?
Yeah. So
okay.
On that note, it was funny. Like the first night, I did it. I think it was 12 people there. And I paid, and I was splitting. And this one thing too. Understand when to cut people loose when you don't need them, if they're not holding any value. Because I was doing it with the whole idea of it was like it was this bar, and within the bar it was 2 levels. So I got with this other dude that was trying to get into DJ, and I was like, "Yo, this is what I do. I mean, I want like you do." He was Latino. I was like, "Yo, you do upstairs Latino."
Reggaeton.
Look, I was like, bro, and this was really with like, so he couldn't lose. Like all he had to do is have the music, and Latinos they always know their culture. So so I was like, you do upstairs, I do downstairs hip hop, and then there was this other guy that he was cool. But we was like, what value does he? He's not really even bringing anything to the table. But what I did with the Latino dude, I was like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. We go see how it works. We'll switch upstairs, downstairs, whichever one gets to popping. That's where we stay at. And that's how we do it. So, like I said, first night, 12 people came in. Well, no, I want to say 12 people came in. We made $12. After paying security. Split between 3. I walked away with $4. Second night, we did it. It was like we was doing like a Wednesday, whatever. Because I'm always of the build it, they will come type of mentality. I'm definitely gonna do the grind.
Consistency brings.
Yeah. So essentially, what I told the owner, I was like, "Hey, what's your worst night?" Just so I can get it for free. I was like, "What's your worst night?" I'll get it popping. You know what I'm saying? So first night, $4 walked away. Second night, we was doing a Wednesday. Second night or the week after, walked away with $12. Third night, walked away with $400 each, which is pretty good for DJing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, why are we paying this dude over here $400 and he's doing the same promoting that we doing? And we know more people and we know the crowd. Like he's trying to get into promoting. The other dude's trying to get into DJing. But I'm okay with his value just because he's bringing the Latin crowd. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm automatically bringing the hip hop crowd. So then we had a meeting. I was like, bro, this ain't what it is. He tried to do his own thing, didn't work, whatever. Ended up being me and a Latino dude. So then we started like bringing it in, but the Latino dude started kind of like living off of what the hip hop crowd was doing. I was like, yo, you need to get numbers up there for it to make sense to split.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm bringing in 400, 500 people, you bringing in 50 people, that ain't it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we eventually split. Then he had a night where, he actually had a pretty good night. He had a night where his Latino people were coming, or his Latino crowd was coming, and he was pulling it. He's had like maybe 100, 150 people, which is a good amount for a bar, but I still have the 500, 600 coming on a Wednesday. So then I expand to doing Wednesdays and Saturdays. Then I eventually take over the Saturdays. So I'm making like but what I'm saying is understanding how to build something and what it can be, versus just like, and that's the hustle. Like a lot of people don't understand how to build from the ground. I literally had to build that crowd up from the ground up. But all that being said, when I made that 400, that dude who I told you that was hating, I called him in the club, all that shit. Like, man, fuck you, nigga. We got this shit popping. You said it wasn't gonna work. Stunned on it. I didn't care. Like, I was like, man, fuck that. Like, cause that nigga hated. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Like, I don't like nigga. Like, and I had to learn. Don't get me wrong. I'm better at it now than what I was then. But like, I had to learn. Like, nah, stun on them and let them watch you shine versus like having to show them that you shining.
Oh, see, and I'm the exact opposite. Because like just like this stuff with all this other stuff, I am like I let other people let me know what I did, and I let other people tell you what's going on with me and how good I'm doing it. Because my pockets is straight. I ain't worried about what you thinking or how you feel. Like I'm just I let them eat cake.
Let them hate all in their background, like because the thing is that was beautiful about that is that he hated on me directly. I'd rather you hate on me direct and like that whole back and forth and stuff like that. If you gonna hate on me directly, I got something to say. You know what I'm saying? If you can hate on me and nothing gets back to me, hey, look, I'm gonna shine. But I feel what you're saying. Like, no, don't come direct at me. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is a different kind of hating. This is kind of a you making up shit type of hating. Like, I'm
right. And
where's all this? Fucking what was the words used? It was like 3 A's or something like that, like in one line. I was like, bitch, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, man.
but you said something in here that I gotta dive into. You said your favorite, because I used to think Outkast was my favorite rap group ever, right? But then, like, I'm like you, I was heavily influenced by NWA and the Against the Grain NWA presence, and it was like 6 of them niggas, right?
Yep.
And now I know all of them went on to be like mega, like, so
did their own thing, yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, who was the most successful group, Outkast or NWA?
You talking about from the branches or from career?
From the whole to the branches to the like to like.
I mean, without a doubt, NWA. I mean, because you got the Dre tree. You know what I'm saying? You know, you talking, you know, everyone from, I mean, even if you say something as simple as Eminem to 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? That branch alone can outweigh what Outkast has did album sales wise. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that Outkast influence on the South can be what we're experiencing now. That it could be 6 degrees of separation, but we may not directly see the impact. But every artist I've seen talk about artists from the South, Outkast is always. I haven't seen Outkast never mentioned. You know,
so now I had to rephrase my favorite group duel is Outkast, and my favorite group of all time would be
NWA. Same. Yeah. No, the toughest part about NWA is that
they only got 2 albums.
Yep. And it's literally it was hard for them. I think they just dealt with a lot of turmoil that, I mean, I don't know how I mean, you know, they had a movie and stuff like that. I'm not sure how Ice Cube was able to pivot his career into what he did, but Ice Cube, you know, I was watching War of the Worlds maybe like a week or 2 ago. Actually, I watched it a couple of days ago, and I was like,
he was looking like he looked in Higher Learning, but just grayer, right?
This is just Ice Cube in a War of the War in a movie. It wasn't like a Will Smith transition. I thought he did pretty good acting, but it wasn't like a Will Smith transition where you like, damn, is Will Smith Ali? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith was being Will Smith, you know, but but all the being said, like Ice Cube, like you got Ice Cube, you got Dre, you got Ren, you got Eazy-E. I mean, how Eazy-E branch goes to Bone Thugs and Harmony. So it's just like NWA is definitely just the influence that they had.
Black Eyed Peas, Black Eyed Peas.
Yes,
will.i.am was
Shit, I still put them as like my favorite group overall, but like I said, Outkast is my favorite duo. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, because NWA it's weird. Like whenever I listen to was it We Can't Be Stopped? No, that's Ghetto Boys. What's the name of the first album? Straight Outta Compton. When I listen to Straight Outta Compton, I still hear it like I heard it in '88. You know what I'm saying? Like I still hear, you know, here's a little something about a nigga like me. Never should have been let out the penitentiary. Ice Cube would like to say that I'm a crazy motherfucker from around the way. Since I was a youth, I smoked weed out. Now I'm the motherfucker that you read about taking a life or two. That's what the hell I do.
You don't like
how I live, but fuck you. And that, like that line right there is just like, you know, like, and even when when they talk about they in the car and riding trying to holler at some chicks, they be like, "Oh, say fuck you, bitch," you kept going. Like that's literally kind of like the mentality, not just towards women, anything like that, but just in general. Like if you don't fuck with me, then I'll get it some other kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like. And that's how I kind of used them. Like I wasn't like we was gang banging and stuff like that. But one thing you did mention earlier, where you said, when your mom said we weren't in the streets, we was in the streets. We just wasn't doing nothing crazy. We wasn't out there. Like we had parents where it wasn't like we had to be like shit. Damn it, nigga. Like as soon as we woke up and was able to go outside, like we was literally in the streets. until it got dark. Like they didn't know where the hell we were. Shit, I remember one time we rode bikes out to Ross Park. You know what I'm saying? Like we ride on the sideway.
Got in trouble.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's stuff like that. Like, you know, we was really not. I mean, it wasn't like we was out there, you know, fighting and doing all these things because
we did. Remember the whole McLaughlin Nelson thing, and I get pulled into the office by the police. They wanted. I had got locked out of my house because it was a half a day.
Yep. Yep. Just crazy. I mean, but it's just crazy that, you know, like we didn't succumb to it. We knew that it was more to life outside of just Muskegon. It's bigger things that you can achieve.
So the other part about the NWA is that they told me that the hood was a thing that was bigger than Muskegon, right? Because I was like, yo, they doing the same stuff in my this is the same stuff that happened in my hood. They do that in LA. Like, what? How did this? So we are a little ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And we had the same problems.
That Compton is the worst city ever to go to, and it wasn't. Like Compton is a suburb of LA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, there's the bad places and stuff or the bad neighborhoods. But nigga, everybody thought Compton was like you go out to Compton shit, nigga, you go die, So and it wasn't.
But you wear the wrong colors, you could. So that,
no, definitely. No, what I'm saying is like it's bigger than. I mean, I'm saying that I was exposed. Like I went out there with my ex, and I had already saw Compton, and my dumb ass too. I was on some 98 when I went out there for the NSBE conference. I was like, nah. For my first thing I did was went to Crenshaw and Slauson because I wanted to see Crenshaw and Slauson. That was the first thing I saw from Minister Society, from Boys in the Hood. All that, the first thing I wanted to see was Crenshaw and Slauson, and then Jack in the Crack. I saw the Jack in the Box on Crenshaw. Those were the things. It's crazy, in that area isn't really it's of course gang violence stuff like that, but during the day it's not
it's like nothing.
Out here just shooting each other from across the street and stuff
it's just like traffic, really dead traffic out there. Like my first experience when we went out to LA, I wanted to go to Magic Johnson little theater thing he had out there because boy from Michigan come to LA and take it over, right? So I was like, oh, this is what now bullets flew that night, and I was like, oh shoot, but it was cool.
Something about when you have not to say that we have a straight hood mentality or anything. I ain't trying to prove our hood if we are or anything like that. But one thing at least I can see is where I should be and where I shouldn't. And that's there.
You have to live it to know it. So I tell people I'm hood aware. I'm not I grew up in the hood. I know how stuff worked in the hood. I'm hood aware. When I went to Chicago, and Chicago to me was that's one city that I don't really mess with. And I know you live there.
Chicago. I love Chicago, but shit happens. Nigga.
Them niggas in Chicago, they own their blocks.
Right, bro. Let me explain something to you. So
they own these blocks, but they just live there.
When I moved back to Chicago in 2015, so my manager, and I'll give you his name and all that stuff. But he was in Jet Magazine as an electrical engineer. He used to go to IIT and all that stuff. Real cool ass dude. He owned a building on the south side. And I was like, well, I'm moving back. I'm looking for a place to stay. And of course, I'm looking at different areas and stuff like that. I was like, well, I know you had that building on the south side, 73rd and Vernon. Or by Martin Luther King, or all where the Black District is at, right? Or Black Wall Street. So I contacted him about it. He's like, well, yeah, I still got my building on 73rd. If you really need a place, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. And like I said, I'm investigating other places. I was like, well, let me just go with this, buy black and all that stuff. I moved from Ann Arbor or Ypsilanti back to Chicago. I drive the rental truck, all the way back and then I had movers when I got to Chicago. I had movers when I was in Ipsy. They had movers when I was in Chicago. So drove the truck all the way back, or drove the truck to Chicago. We unloading the truck. Let me add a little context to it. So his wife was managing his properties at that point in time. I don't know if she still does, but that was like 2015, whatever. So I back the truck in, we unloading the stuff. I'm waiting for the movers to come. We taking the stuff, the movers come, we taking the stuff upstairs into the apartment. I'm down, I'm getting ready to walk. This dude walks past. I didn't, pay no mind to it because like the way Chicago is, like it could be like this much space, but this be the space between like
house
building and building. Like that's really so.
Yeah.
A dude walks by, and the mover is like a little bit in front of me, and the mover put the stuff down. He's like, hey man, let's go upstairs. I was like, what are we doing? He was like, but then he's like, no, we ain't got no time to talk. Let's go upstairs. Like me, my boy Will, and we just hurry up, go upstairs. He was like, yo, while I was down there, that dude that walked by, he was like, yo, they out here. Next thing you know, 30 seconds later, 15 seconds later, shooting. Like, dude gets shot. Like, dude literally gets shot out in front of me moving back to Chicago. I'm like, yo, like, and I called the lady, or I called his wife. And I was like, yo, somebody got shot over here while I'm moving into a place. And she was like, well, he didn't die. I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is like I'm signing up for? Like, I am doing a professional, like I am a professional. I am not moving back to the hood where I'm moving into a place and somebody gets shot and I'm moving in. And 2 weeks later, it's almost like Boys in the Hood. 2 weeks later, they shoot him again and kill him in front of my building. Dude dies. Vigils and all that shit outside of my apartment thing. I was like, listen, he died now. Like, what are we talking about?
He
like,
did.
Right. But I'm just saying that to say that shit can happen in Chicago. It don't matter. Chicago is just like, I mean, of course, if you go, north and stuff like that, of course, it'd be a little bit more clear. But, it's just like Chicago is just one of the weird areas. At least, I mean, because Chicago is based off of blocks, right? So, like, say if you're off of 77th and Prairie, everything could be good. You know what I'm saying? But if you like 79th and Prairie, that's where niggas die. And that's
my experience. And so, like, my experience in Chicago has been rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, my cousin used to live on 71st and May, right? Mm-hmm. Cicero is like a couple blocks over, whatever. That's where the little store was, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm literally seeing these people rob people every day. I mean, I was up there for 5 days because my aunt had passed away, so we was there for 5 days. My man asked you, "Can I get $1?" It wasn't really asking; he was basically telling you that, "Yo, let me get $1." They asking people as they come in, "Let me get $1." And this is days where everybody had cash on them, right? Mm-hmm. And like you could see the press. And when I say the press, I'm from the hood. Like depending on the energy you ask me for it, we gonna have to fight. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, long story short, they don't rob us. My cousin she was in Korea. She came back home, got her son the brand new J's. Right, we go back to the store. They send us back to the store to get some tissue or something. Right, go to the store. My man was like, "Hey man, I like them shoes. What size shoes you wear? You know what it is. You know what I'm saying?" Like he was like, "These are 10." He was like, "Man, let me check them out. Let me see them."
Nah,
dog.
That's why I carry.
Dog. He takes off the shoes. He's like, "Yeah, let me get the other one, man. All right, I like these. Like, yeah, you can go home now." And so then we got to go home.
But they ain't worth it either, though. So I mean, like,
this is right around the corner. So we go home. His mom just came back from Iraq. Mm-hmm. She still got the fatigue. She still got the army clothes on, dog. Mm-hmm. Her mom just passed away. Mm-hmm. Dog, she got 2 Desert Eagles, right? Click, click. Mm-hmm. Where they at? So I'm like, dang, this is some real shit. So like, we go around the corner, they still there. These niggas rob people every day, staying there, right? I never. And then I know it's real because Chris Rock on Everybody Hates Chris, he had the same experience, right? So she said, "Hey, look, run those
Full Metal fatigues."
Yes, run those. He's like, you see these are mine. Don't touch, don't mess, don't say shit to
Mm,
mine, right? And I'm like, oh shit, this
mm,
is this is in the movie type stuff. It's like, yo, I just asked him if I could see him. I was gonna give him back to him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So that's my one. That's the one experience, right?
mm.
We go over my aunt house at this time. This is 90, 92, 90, 91, between 92, 91. Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
This stuff is rough. When I say rough, it's rough. But
Cabrini held up for so long, like they ain't fully even tear down the towers because they got the row houses. The row houses are still there,
yeah,
but
yeah,
them
they knocked them
towers.
down and built the row houses to make it. But okay,
Mhm,
so we go in like, uh, so we go to the stairwell and it's like 30, 40 niggas in there, right?
mhm,
A nigga look at me like I'm like, and so I look at him back like, what? You know what I'm saying? Now I didn't put my whole family in danger.
mhm.
He was like, what? Pussy, nigga, like, and then like my cousin who lives there, he was like, "Yo, he from out of town. He better watch how he looking at people because it can go down." I'm like, "Dog, like y'all, 30
Look,
cats is gonna come and then so we go to the elevator. The elevator smell like pee. Like I felt like I was back in New York. It's small, but
mhm,
we got to take the elevator because them niggas is still mad in the hallway. They don't own jack in here.
mhm,
You mad at me because you look at me funny, and I look back at you like what?"
mhm.
But I ain't trying to get my whole family messed up. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
fuck shit. And them
You,
niggas, listen, some niggas live without um, what's the word? They live without what's what word I'm looking for? They live without not results, but they live without consequences, or they live without no thoughts of consequences.
resolve. Yeah, there's no resolve to that. Yeah,
It's
like
like
they.
no, I
It,
react first, and then
yeah.
whatever comes of it, let everything fall where they may.
So then we walking past this broke down car, and these cats is in the like when we leaving, we walking past a broke down car in on like the lawn part, right?
Hmm.
Some cats that's sitting on top of it. I mean, the car is broke down, like it ain't been moved, and then they got the car been broke down. The tires is all flat. They got a couch on the other side of the car, so like it's the car. Like you come out of the building, you see the car first, and on the other side of the car, it's a remind me of the Wire. How they used to be in the Wire, and it's like four or five people sitting right there, and all you hear is like, "Yo, get down," right?
Yeah.
Get down. And when they say get down, like I have PTSD to this day where I always have to know where my exits and stuff at, right?
Hmm.
So somebody say get down, I'm getting out. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing my mom and them and my cousin. I'm like, yo, and they looking at me like, what
Hold
am
on
I
for a
doing?
second. This is the shit that we go through that we don't realize that it's traumatized us forever. And this is why it's hard to explain to other people like, yo, shit. You know what's funny? That same club that I was DJing at, a nigga got shot in front of me, standing on the DJ booth, like or on the stage, and died. And that's when that club shut down. That's when I stopped DJing there. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody literally got murdered right in front of me, and all I could be like is like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And then what's even crazier is they hit me the next year, or they hit me like a few months before the next year. It's like, yo, we want to do something at that club again on the 1 year anniversary of our cousin dying and shit. I'm like, yo, like this is shit
You
that we
need to
celebrate.
cut it.
You want you want to go back to the spot where your ops was at and murdered your cousin, and you want to go back and throw a party there in observance of your cousin dying? Like this, this is
Yeah,
so.
I mean, so we traumatized by it, and they emboldened by it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mhm.
yeah, and like I got cousins that's been on both sides of the law. You know what I'm saying? I got
Yeah,
cousins that hustle. Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's what life. Like I said, you got to learn how to maneuver through it, and like I said, you witness what goes on in the street. That doesn't mean that like you murdering or killing or selling drugs or doing whatever the things that people assume has to be involved with the streets. It's like no. like sometimes it's just good to, like you said, street aware, knowing what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? To make yourself that much better. I mean, shoot, it's almost like it strengthens you for the business world and shit. It's like, well,
Yeah,
shit, if
yeah,
I
right,
promote
right.
this,
It gives you the cutthroat of the business world because again, you
now I
can
can
see
negotiate.
stuff before
I ain't
this.
gotta die to negotiate, nigga. Like, nigga, like this
You, but, but
is
you get that hood spidey sense. You can see stuff. These are type cats that don't care. So let's
Mhm.
get away from these cats. But again, like I don't mess with Chicago.
Mhm.
It's not. I don't. Chicago. I got love for y'all,
I
but
fuck
like
with Chicago. Chicago, look, I was
y'all.
there like 2 months ago. I fuck with Chicago, but like I said, I'm way aware of what's around me, and I'm not trying to glorify anything about. Oh, I stayed on the south side, or I stayed on the west side. I stayed all of these places. Like, no, shoot. I mean, dog, anybody can get it. Shoot, I remember one time my guy, he was walking. I was doing an in store with Daddy Yankee, and Daddy Yankee's a Latino artist, so the reggaeton at the time. But we were doing the in store, and my guy, he had a shirt on, and the shirts that had like a crown on it, like it might have been, I think it might have been a Biggie shirt or something like that. We in Latta King area, so my man, like we walking, and dude was like, he started screaming out like his street and all that stuff and da da da, and who he was, and he was like, man, just keep walking, because I experience, or I have knowledge of the black gangs, but shoot, I ain't never like them Latin. They really operate with no with
No
no
regard.
consequences.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they will literally die for or murder you for what you represent. Like it was no. I mean, he said it quick too, and I didn't even hear it. And my man was like, "No, keep walking, keep walking." Like I said, he the one had the shirt on, but we together,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, but so even when I was older and I went, my friend, she used to live on the east side or whatever, and I went up. I had dropped my car off there and took the train to the airport, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and like she had my keys, so I walked around her block. Well, like she wasn't there yet, so I got back. I had my suitcase or whatever, and I see two people walk around the block, and see to me, like I don't like when nobody walk behind me. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
just be
not,
like,
especially not close. Like I'm literally eyeing you, like, and I'll literally move over and let you walk past me.
right, right. So so like those type of, and then they come back around the block, and I go I end up seeing them walking the other way, and I'm like, they was like, yo, where you from, cuz? And
Mhm,
like to me, that's LA stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm.
cuz like you talking Crips and like I don't know nothing about that. I'm from Muskegon, man. I'm from Michigan.
I
And
still don't understand that culture, and I'm not even trying to understand that like I said, living in Chicago, I can understand GDs, vice lords, BDs, all that. Like I know that part just because I work
folks,
within
yeah,
the after school program, like with kids that was trying to deciding which side to go to type of stuff. But like LA scares me. Like, like I'm literally not to say I'm scared to be out there, but I'm scared to be in the wrong area with the wrong shit on. Like, and I
yeah,
don't think, like, most of the time, like whenever you around that stuff, they don't fuck with you if you don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because you are what you call it, you are civilians. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You ain't in the
yeah.
game. It's very
You ain't
similar
in the
to what
game,
Omar said, where you ain't in the game. We don't fuck with y'all because that brings unwanted attention to the violence and all of the stuff that's going on within the neighborhoods. But man,
yeah,
LA just really, I remember, like, I made sure to this day, no red, no blue, no nothing. Like, it could be other colors too, shit, but I know them too. Like,
right. Spanish Cobra Green, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But being hood adjacent and being hood aware is bred into me because that's the type of stuff. Like I got, like I said, family that be on both sides. I mean, you know how Carlita get down.
Mhm,
Like we know how you connect with different. Like we had drug dealers in the family. You know, like
mhm.
like our auntie did a bit. You know,
Shit, Uncle Joey did time. Shit, like, nigga, like, it ain't. It's just like crazy to think, like, you look back and be like, damn, like, okay, you had your pops doing time, or ain't sure, like, had them doing time, but then, like, you got the opposite side of it with Uncle Charles. It's like, it's just weird. It's like it's just like, I mean, even I'll break it down to like even, people younger than me or the next generation after me within my nieces and nephews, like I got one nephew in prison for 35. I got the other ones all did military. They're all in the same household. You know what I'm saying? You're talking three of them that was either in the military or was in the reserves. Then you had the one that just commit a whole ass crime that got him locked up for 35 years.
And he did it in Texas. That crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They believe in sending people to prison. Well, I guess they believe in sending people to prison
no, he
in
was
Michigan
he
too.
was a dumbass though. I mean, he could have did better. Like he screwed that shit up. I could go into it a little bit, but I mean, he literally could have got less time, but he chose to be the asshole and literally was like, well, I believe in me. And I was like, nah, you got to believe in what the system is offering you and what you're fighting against and what your lawyer can do for you. If you don't believe,
Yeah.
if you don't believe in them three things, like you're gonna fuck up. Like this is not TV. Like you are not going to negotiate yourself out of a crime that you did, and not get the time that they're trying to throw at you. If they're negotiating time, like if they tell you they tell you they go give you 8, and you want 7, and the time you're against is 30 to 35. If you don't take whatever they negotiate and you did the crime, you getting all them years. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just interesting. Like some people mentality, like, no, I could beat the system. I explained it to him too. I was like, oh, you could beat the system. I was like, okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna do. I was like, I'm gonna put money on your books because he said, I'll do the appeal and stuff like that. I was like, how long is it gonna take you to do the appeal? He's like, oh, it's gonna take me about a year. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna put money on your books, August 27th, 2025. That's when he got sentenced August 27th, 2024. I was like, you said it's gonna take you a year. I'm gonna put
It
money
was
on your
that
books
was it
for
was
a
just
year.
that it was just there.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
thought.
Mind you,
Huh.
he had time served, so he owned 3-4 years.
Okay.
And with that, so essentially, if he had took the 8 that they were offering him, and this
He
one, and
probably
I found
yeah.
out
He
about the
probably
8. I found out the 8 with the lawyer. I talked to the lawyer, and I'm like, hey, like it. But the lawyer told me, he was like, yeah, he was being disrespectful to the judge, turning away from him, rolling his eyes, doing all, and like, bro, like you really do have to put up a certain image to be able to, like, your image is what's going to, the difference between, in his scenario, 8 years to 30 to 35 years. No
man,
bet.
8 years was good time. He could have been out in 5.
And he
Like
got out. No, he had 3.5 served.
yeah.
So he 3.5 served, 8 years. He only had 4.5 to do. With good time, he could have got out within 2 or 2.5. I would say. I think he probably
Yeah.
had to do like 30 months or something like that. But yeah, so 2.5. So like I said, I can't speak specifically for what he could have did because he didn't do it. But I know from talking to the lawyer, this is what the lawyer was offered. He chose not to do it.
Hey, all right.
He
Well,
wanted
man.
7. They were going to give him 8.
On that note, being hood aware, being hood adjusted, like I want to thank you for inviting me on the podcast again.
Yes,
And
sir.
I enjoyed myself.
Number love. I love talking to you. I still find I got another one to put, but I thought it was funny with the class reunion. Cool ass shit. Doing like, I'm gonna give you props where the props is due. I mean, you did a great job. I think we all figured it out on how to make it successful.
we
So
we we
um,
all did. We all did. So like it was work, but like I had a great team. So like
mhm,
I will say that's what I said, man. Like I appreciate everybody who came in and stepped up
mhm.
and made the game work. Because if it would have been just me, it wouldn't have been no
It'd have been
decorations.
such a headache, and that's why I was telling you. I was like, hey, look, wherever somebody's slacking, that's what we could pick up.
Yeah.
And with all that being said, thank you all for listening to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality, your boy Brian from Nothing New Under the Sun. Make sure you tune in. Got more podcasts coming soon. Peace.
Peace.